Good morning, class 12. In the last session, children, I discussed with you the concept of colloids, their classification on the basis of the nature of interaction between the dispersed phase and the dispersion medium, and also on the basis of the type of particles of the dispersed phase. So, I discussed with you the first category, that is the lyophilic and the lyophobic salts, the difference between the two. And now in today's session I'll be taking up the another category of classification, that is multimolecular colloids and macromolecular colloids and associated colloids. So children, first category, that is multimolecular colloids. What are these? This means that when a number of ions, when a large number of atoms or molecules, they unite together, they join together in order to form a multimolecular type of structure, wherein the size of the multimolecule formed falls in the category of colloidal range, that is 1 to 10 raised to the power 3 nanometer. So basically small molecules, large number of atoms or molecules, they generally combine together in order to attain the size of a colloidal particle. For example, salts of gold, sulfur, etc. They aggregate together, they combine together to form a colloidal range molecule. So these such type of colloids are known as multimolecular colloids. Second category is macromolecular colloid. These are type of colloids where you will find that one molecule itself is of the size of a colloidal particle, that is 1 to 10 raised to the power 1 to 10 raised to the power 3 nanometer. So one molecule itself, a single molecule itself falls in the category of colloidal range. So whenever we have to prepare colloid, the first thing that we need to keep in mind is the colloidal range. The size of the particles should fall in the colloidal range. Secondly, it should be stable, it should not settle down at the bottom. So these are true solutions consisting of single macromolecules so large that they fall into the colloidal range. Example, polymers of rubber, nylon, starch, cellulose, etc. Some polymeric species can form ions and can migrate in electric field. That is why they are also known as colloidal electrolytes. That is, they can also get ionized, and when they are in ionized state and kept in between the electric field, what will happen? The different ions will start migrating towards the opposite plate, and that is why they are also known as colloidal electrolytes. Very important, children, please remember the terms that I am telling you. Now comes the third category, associated colloids. Associated colloids, I told you the example is missile formation. This you have done in class 10 also. What is missile? I'll explain you again. First of all, let us see what is associated colloid. Certain substances, when dissolved in a medium at low concentration, behaves as normal strong electrolyte. That is, they undergo dissociation. But at higher concentration, what happens? Their colloidal properties, they start acquiring the properties of colloidal system, and due to the formation of aggregated particles. This is known as missile formation. Now when I'll explain you missile, you will be able to understand it in a better way. As when if you remember, a simple molecule of soap, I have mentioned it here, a simple molecule of soap appears like this. This is a soap molecule. For example, sodium stearate. This is an example of soap, sodium stearate, which is long chain fatty acid of, or salt of long chain fatty acid of sodium, or potassium is also possible. So most common associated colloids are formed by soaps and detergents. Soap is long chain sodium or potassium salt of fatty acid. For example, sodium stearate. So if you remember from class 10, it has two ends. If you are writing this in the by expanding it in the form of bond line structure, the structure will appear like this. Okay, this end, which has the ions, is known as ionic end or the hydrophilic end. Why? Because it is water loving in nature. And the another end, which is hydrocarbon chain, is hydrophobic in nature, that is water hating. I hope by now you all are aware that ionic compounds dissolve easily in ionic solvent, and the organic compounds, they dissolve easily in organic solvents. Like dissolves like. And in case of soap, it has both the ends, the ionic also and non-ionic also, water loving also and water hating also. So what happens when you dissolve this salt in water, or when you try to make a concentrated solution of soap in water, what happens? See, in this case, it behaves as an ionic compound. Why? Because as the moment you dissolve it in water, Na plus will get detached from this part, and that is why this resembles the category or the property of an ionic compound. But when you increase the concentration of soap in the water, what happens? It acquires a shape like this, as you can see here. What happens? Suppose this is an oil droplet or grease droplet. What happens when you dissolve the detergent or soap inside this solution? It will orient itself in such a way that the hydrophobic end, that is the tail part, attaches itself to this oil droplet, which is again hydrophobic because this is also hydrocarbon. And this ionic end, that is negative charge, COO minus charge, it arranges itself in such a way that it is exposed to the water, because it is water loving. So it forms a globular structure like it is shown here, and Na plus remains like spectator ion in the solution, and this type of globular structure is known as micelle. This micelle formation only helps in the cleansing action of soap, and this micelle is known as aggregated salt. Children, this topic was explained to you in class 10 also. Even if you have any problem now, you can discuss it with me, you can share your doubt with me, I'll explain you again. So basically, micelles are what? Micelles are globe-like structure in which the hydrophobic end or the tail, it orients itself towards the center so that they are away from the water, whereas the ionic part, they orient themselves towards the outside such that they are exposed to the water. And this type of aggregation is known as micelle, and it is an example of associated colloid, a very important example of associated colloid. It can be asked in your exam also. Please children, be thorough with this, and I explained you this in class 10 also. If suppose this is the surface of your skin and this is the oil droplet, okay, and the moment you apply the face wash, what happens? It holds this oil droplet on your face with the help of the hydrophobic end, whereas the hydrophilic part is exposed like this. And when you rinse it, this oil droplet get rid from your face along with the this micelle which is formed on the surface of the face. The same action is applicable in washing machine also, in the removal of sweat and grease from the cloths. The same type of orientation is acquired by detergent also. So this is the cleansing action. The micelle formation helps in the cleansing action of soap and detergent. Now some important terms related to micelle. Micelle formation takes place above a particular temperature, and that particular temperature is known as Kraft temperature. And micelle formation also occurs above a particular concentration, and that is known as critical micellar concentration. In short, it is known as CMC. So I hope the three types of colloids are clear to you. The categories are clear to you: associated, multimolecular and macromolecular colloids, and lyophilic and lyophobic both. Children, these are very important. Lyophilic and lyophobic salts has been asked in your board exams a number of times. The difference between the two has been asked in your board exams a number of times. The examples of the two is also very important. So children, please be thorough with these topics. Now moving on to the preparation of colloids. Now when you have to talk about the preparation of colloid, you all know that lyophilic salts are very easy to prepare. Why? Because this type of lyophilic salts can be prepared by simple shaking. Why? Because these are liquid loving, whereas lyophobic salts are prepared by special methods. It cannot be prepared simply by shaking because they have no affinity for the dispersion medium. That is why you need to apply special methods for its preparation. So the first method is disintegration method or dispersion method, and another method is condensation or aggregation method, and under disintegration method comes Bredig-Arcs method, which is very important, children, and peptization. Both these methods are very important. And condensation or aggregation method involves chemical method, double decomposition, reduction, oxidation, and hydrolysis. I'll be discussing each method one by one. So first of all, let us see what is Bredig-Arcs method. Bredig-Arcs method is employed to prepare colloids of metal, especially gold, silver, and platinum. This particular method is basically used for the preparation of the metal colloids like silver, gold, and platinum. Example is purple of Caseous. It is a colloidal solution of gold which is obtained by this method. Very important, children, remember this name. Okay, now what is the method about? This method, in this method, first of all, try to understand the setup. Here what do we take? We take water in a container. Please pay attention to the method that I am explaining. We take water in a container, and there are two rods of the metal of which you want to prepare the sol. Suppose I am preparing the sol of gold here. So I'll take two rods of gold here. One is connected to the negative terminal, one is connected to the positive terminal. Okay, so as to provide a high voltage here. Now outside this water container there is another container which is comprised of ice. Okay, this is ice bath actually. So what happens, the moment electric electric current is supplied, what happens, and these two are connected, touched with each other, an electric spark is produced, and the heat produced by electric spark is of such a high intensity that the gold starts melting, vaporizing. Okay, and this gold vapor, the moment it comes in contact with water, and cold water, especially because ice is kept here to keep the water cold, the moment it comes in contact with cold water, what happens, the vapor of the gold start condensing, and it forms small droplets of gold, small particles of gold that falls under the category of colloidal range. This is how this method is employed to prepare the sol of gold, platinum, or silver. Okay, this is very simple. The two rods touch each other to produce the arc, and the heat of the arc leads to conversion of this solid gold into vapor gold, and that vapor gold, when it comes in contact with cold water, it immediately gets converted into solid droplets, which is our requirement. So you can see here the apparatus consists of metal electrodes dipped in cold water bath. On supplying high voltage an arc is produced, and microparticles of gold is produced, and this is gold sol. But this gold sol is unstable. It will have a tendency to settle down at the bottom. So as to make it stable, another electrolyte is added, which is KOH. This unstable gold sol, KOH is added. Now what this KOH does, when it is added, dissociates to K plus and OH minus. So since it is a metal, this OH minus surrounds this gold particle from outer side, and this side also it surrounds I have shown you here only two gold particles, otherwise there are many such gold particles, each surrounded by this hydroxide ion. Now each have negative charge. Now when these particles have the same charge, it will start repelling each other. So in no case it can come together, that is, in no case it can aggregate or settle down because of the repulsions. Now it gets converted into stable sol. Suppose there are negatively charged particles in a container. All the particles have similar charge. In this case there is negative charge, that is why I'm saying negative charge. The moment one layer is formed at the bottom, or one settles at the bottom, and the moment second particle will tend to come towards the bottom, what will happen? there will be strong repulsion between the two similarly charged particles, and because of this strong repulsion, what will happen? Because of this strong repulsion, there will be no settlement of the particles at the bottom. As a result, it will become stable. It will behave as stable sol. So this is Brady-Arcs method. I hope it is clear, children. Now in the next session, I'll tell you about another method. Thank you for watching the video.